Hi, I'm Kim Dahl. I am your 6th graders language arts teacher on the green team, and I wanted to provide this video for those of you that didn't have an opportunity to come on Tuesday night, and also for those of you that did. I just go into a little more detail than the 7 minutes allow for the parent night. So as I said that night, my theme is Read the Roads of Life and Write for the World, and I just haven't come up with one that I like better, so I've stuck with it over the years. Here's several ways to communicate with me. Email's probably the fastest, but if it's a conversation you want to have, let's talk on the phone. I'm happy to do that. So you can call me during 4th hour or send me an email that says, hey, call me when you get a chance, and I can do that too. This will also be on the syllabus that I'll attach, so those are ways to get a hold of me. I wanted to let you know who I am a little bit. I grew up in Olathe and I attended Olathe South and then went on to K-State to get a degree in elementary education with a special in an area of concentration in special ed. And then I went on to Mid-America for my master's in educational technology, which hopefully will come in handy with the iPads. And then moving on, I just finished last year my reading and literacy specialist license from K-State. I can't believe it, but this is 16 years of teaching, and all 16 years have been with 6th graders, so a big deal. My husband and I have 3 kids. Ethan is a 6th grader here at Chisholm. Emmeline is 7, and she's a 2nd grader at Heritage. And Elijah is 3 and a preschooler at Briarwood, and super happy to be going to school like his brother and sister. We have 2 dogs, Hannah and Tucker. They're our Jack Russells, and we love them dearly. The kids before the kids, as most of us have done. And then in the little free time that we as family have, I love to read and play games and just spend time with friends. So there we go. There's a picture of us. It's 2 years old, so nobody really looks much different but Elijah. But as your language arts teacher, I figured you'd like to know that our family reads. And we do. We love to read, so that's exciting. On Tuesday night, I spent a lot of time going over how to survive 6th grade, especially for those of us that are new parents to 6th grade. I just want to share that as a team, the 4 of us have done this many times over, and I wanted to just share that we work with amazing people, and I'm blessed to be on the team that I am as a 6th grade as a whole. We just really work together well, and I want to tell you it's going to be okay. Some things to do though: help them organize. They still need your help. As much as we want to say, hey, you're a middle schooler, you're on your own, we can't do that yet. Many of them just aren't ready. I want you to try to come alongside them, encourage the independence, but be their safety net. What that might look like is telling them, okay, go in early tomorrow or stay after school and ask the question that we can't figure out right now. And then send me an email that says, hey, my child's going to come ask this question. Can you be on the lookout for it? And then I can help them from my end to encourage them to advocate for themselves, which is that second bullet there. One of our goals is to help your child become confident citizens, confident people that are able to reach out to us and ask us the questions that they need to get the answers. Another thing that as a team we really wanted to highlight was how hard it is to be gone. We know absences happen. It just is so different from elementary school, and we've all taught in both realms. We've taught elementary and we've taught middle school, and we see the difference. It's just harder for them to catch up, and so they're going to need your help, especially when they've been gone, to help them organize or to encourage them to come in after school. Give them permission to stay after school so that they know that they're allowed, because right now they're so young, they're doing what you told them, which is what we want them to do, and they go straight home, but then they fall behind and it's huge stress. We've seen that time and time again. So touch base with them when they've been gone and help them get caught up. You've got some resources listed there. More information will come out about all of those as we're able to get the kids logged in and logged on, and we'll then send you the information too. So let's get into actual language arts. One of my passions is to help your child become a reader. If they're already a reader, I want them to expand their horizons, read more challenging text, and read more. I think that our kids have not spent enough time reading and even just hearing the word, in terms of hearing audiobooks and people talking to them at a non-childlike level. Obviously appropriate, but yet with higher vocabulary. And so I really strive to push, as that quote under there says, about choice. A lot of the reading they'll do for me is reading of their choice, and I'm going to help encourage them to make good choices for themselves, and I hope you do too. There'll be many lessons and strategies to support that thinking and that reading. I'll do my best to fit in small groups when I see it's necessary, or individual conferences during our workshop time. But the quote there at the bottom that talks from Gladwell in his book Outliers, he says 10,000 hours of practice it takes to become an expert. And to be an expert reader, if we use that, and it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert reader, and if you think about it, by the time they graduate high school, they're expected to be an expert reader. No one's teaching them how to read when they get to college or when they get into the workforce. They're expected to read and understand. And so I'm asking you now, if you think about it, our kids are 6th graders. They are halfway to where they need to be. Has your child read 5,000 hours? Where are they in that 10,000 hours of practice? Many of them might already be way up there, and others, though, might even be at 1,000 hours, if that. And that counts you reading to them. So some of the things you can do, especially if you've got a non-reader or a struggling reader, read with them, read to them. We think they're too old for that, but they actually love it. And so a great thing to do is to pick books you know they can't read on their own, or that one that just promotes some bonding time, some conversation. And I will try to send out some lists of suggestions of those as we go through the year. But read with them, check out audiobooks, because we are all super busy. And so audiobooks in the car, great way for everybody to listen. And our public libraries have a tremendous number of good options. So what'll reading look like in our day? I did talk about this, reading a minimum of 30 minutes each night. I am not and will not keep up with minute calendars like you're probably used to from elementary school, because there's various reasons, but I know that it's hard to even know how much time your kid has read. I send my kids off to bed to read. I don't know if they read 20 minutes or a half an hour or 45. I don't know, and we don't time ourselves as adults either. And so I don't want us to stress out about that. What I want is you to be the coach at home to encourage good reading habits. So I highly recommend get them through their evening, dinner, family practices, other homework. Have them shower, and then go to bed and read a book. If they read 5 minutes, I'm happy. If they read a half an hour, I'm happy. But try to build that up to where they want to read longer than 30 minutes. That's the goal. You can see we'll have core lit books. We have a textbook we'll work from. We've got a couple of strategies that I want to work on with Notice and Note. So those are just terms you'll hear come home. And book reviews, I'm really hoping to explore those a little bit more in technology enhanced book reviews this year. I take a 3-point approach, and I'll just briefly explain it. I want them to learn who they are as readers themselves. We're going to spend a lot of first quarter with that. And then we also do a lot of who am I how do I read for someone I know? In other words, how do I read for my teachers? Because that's going to be their lives until they're done with college. How do I read for someone I know and is assigning things? Because it's a different approach than when they're reading a book they just really enjoy and want to curl up on the couch and enjoy and dive into. And then someone the reader may never meet, that one is for those tests. Tests aren't going away. They have the ACT, the SATs, all of those tests, and it's a genre in and of itself. So I want to help them learn how to read a test, and we're going to do that separately, so that our focus, we are not hyper focused on the assessment. I want to make the assessment a genre, and I've found success with that. It releases some stress, but it also provides them tools and strategies to use to be successful on them. Reading workshop, and you'll hear writing workshop too. We have a workshop approach. I take status of the class. It's just them checking in with me, telling me what page they're on, gives me a chance to see how they're doing on their minutes of reading at night. A mini lesson, and then they read to themselves, or meet with me and read, and we also will do some reflection on that. Core Lit, we've got 2 amazing Core Lit books that I love to teach together with the kids, but we also have added 2 that I really want to get to as well, so we'll see what that looks like this year. They'll do some responding digitally to those, and it'll either be Moodle or Google Classroom each night. So that's when homework kind of picks up in there, but we may actually move it to in-class. So there's a lot that I'm still adjusting or changing as I see the needs with the technology in our classrooms change. So writing, I want to finish with that. Writing for the world, as the workshop will follow a similar approach, but instead of reading, we'll write. I want to talk about letters and poems and memoirs and reviews. I just want them to write a lot and to explore different ways to write and to give them as much purpose as I can in their writing. We're going to focus on mentor text. In other words, studying a text of an expert, maybe a famous poet, and then seeing what techniques they use to make theirs successful, and then trying it on our own, trying to use those techniques in ours, and to read as writers, analyze something from a writing standpoint. What made this good, or what made this bad, and how I'm reading for that. So be on the lookout though. Time will be given in class to write, but we will have deadlines along the way that I will probably put in Parent View that'll show up not for a grade, but it communicates to you, oh boy, they didn't meet the first rough draft deadline, they're behind. So it's my communication, but it's not affecting their grade. Their grade will come from that final product. We'll also do a lot of musings, just our daily reflections. They're fun writing prompts, pictures, videos, questions, that sort of thing. I'm really going to hope to try to do a monthly poem where we study a poem and we also write a poem like it, that whole mentor text thing. Grammar and conventions. Foursquare helps us write traditional essays. I love it for a graphic organizer of sorts. I've had lots of success with that. And then I'd like to explore digital portfolios. Mrs. Hooven and I are going to attempt to do that and kind of lead the way, hopefully, for the district in changing over to digital portfolios. I'm pretty excited about that. Homework, like I said, it's really that reading 30 minutes. That's my biggest, but homework in writing will be mostly if they didn't finish something in class and they need to get caught up. And it mentions there the checkpoint deadlines throughout the writing process. So be on the lookout for that, the deadlines listed in Parent View, where you'll know if your child is on track for being able to turn in a final copy that has given them time to revise and edit and all of that. That is all I have to share with you. I look forward to this year. I've had so much fun getting to know names, and they've been so patient with me, and I really appreciate that. You've got some great kids. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, weekend, whenever you're listening to this, and I'm sure I will meet you again.